This deal that we've been discussing, the reporting is that Hamas would release kidnapped Israeli hostages in exchange for a 3-to-1 ratio of Palestinian prisoners, women and minors, children who are in Israeli prison. If you were president of the United States, would you accept that deal?
No, because we have 9 Americans held hostage right now by Hamas, have been there for 6 weeks, including at least 1 child. And by now, I would have expected American special forces to perhaps play a hand in extracting them. I think it's absurd, shocking, and dismaying that 6 weeks later, we still have American hostages held by a terror organization in Gaza. I'm happy for the Israelis, don't get me wrong. Hamas should release all hostages. But the fact that we have Americans sitting in Gaza right now held hostage is appalling and should be addressed immediately.
So to be clear, you would turn down even this opportunity to free 50 hostages. And I want to just clarify for the audience, these are Israelis, but some of them are dual citizens. They hold dual passports, including some Americans.
If all Americans are included that are held hostage right now, of course I would approve it. If there's a single American that is still held hostage after this deal, no. I think it's that important, Abby. I think the American president has an obligation to extract Americans. It's been 6 weeks, and I'm happy that some are being released, but every single American citizen should be part of that group. And if I were the American president, I would not agree to anything until every single one of them is released. I would demand it, and if it wasn't done, we have to use every lever available to us to ensure it.
You have said that the war has taken an unacceptable toll on Palestinian citizens and civilians.
And Israelis.
And of course, on Israelis, but in terms of the toll on Palestinians in Gaza, you're saying a ceasefire only in exchange for the hostages. It seems pretty clear at this point, those are not terms that Hamas will accept. So how will you get them to agree to release all of the hostages, which they've refused to do up until this point, simply by putting a ceasefire on the table?
First of all, Hamas should have been eliminated years ago. Years ago. The fact that a terror organization will not release 200 humans in exchange for the preservation of life of the people they ostensibly represent is appalling.
But
by the way,
this
is a failure, Abby, of the past.
But what will you do about it is my question. What would you do if you were president? What would you do to change that?
Just like I proposed, release the 200 hostages. There will be an immediate...
Hamas has to do that. So how do you get Hamas to do it?
Hamas has to do it because how do you get Hamas to do it?
Yeah.
You make this is exactly the presentation. Release 200 hostages, an immediate ceasefire, a multinational security force to maintain security for all Palestinians in Gaza that eliminates Israel's responsibility.
Do you think that the Biden administration is deferring too much to the Israeli government in how this war is conducted? Because it kind of sounds like what you're saying is that you think that the United States government should simply just go in there and release the Americans.
I look at outcomes and facts, and the fact of the matter is this cycle has been going on for the 50 years that Joe Biden has been in Washington. And by the way, the fact that Hamas is holding these hostages right now should have been addressed, I believe, years ago. And to answer your question directly, yes, I think there's been too much deference to Netanyahu's right-wing government for too long. He is a big problem for the safety and security of Israel. And I hope Israelis make a change soon, too.
Understand that you